4 realizations, ideas that can lead you to long-term wealth and success. That's the topic of today's video. Now, I could have broken this down into a bunch of 60-second shorts, but that would offer absolutely no value to you. If you don't have 10 minutes to spend watching a video about how to improve your future, then I think that is your first issue, and that's something that we'll cover later on in this video. All right. The first thing I want to cover is just a little quote. Reality is often disappointing. All right. I'm sure all of us have experienced this at some time, but we start overthinking about stuff, and I don't believe overthinking is a thing. I'll get into that in a little bit as well, but we're just thinking inefficiently, and we're hyping things up in our mind and, creating unrealistic expectations, right? So if you want life to be like a dream, if you imagine going out with someone and it being like a dream day, you have to put in work to make it that dream day, or someone has to put in work to make it that dream day. If both people go on a date and both of them are expecting to be given a great time, neither of them are going to be given shit, and it's going to be really awkward saying goodbye, or it's going to be really awkward during the dinner, right? So you must put in the work. Don't just expect to be given a good time without first expecting to, give a good time. If everyone just shows up to be expected, or to, expect a good time to be given to them, well, sounds like it'll be pretty sour to me. I have my notes here, like, making sure I stay on track here because I keep veering off when I'm doing other videos. But everyone has to offer some sort of value to the goal of having a good time. And, yeah. It could be negative or it could be positive that you're overthinking. But if you just go and talk to the person, right? If you got in a fight with your spouse or your loved one or your partner, whatever you refer to them as, if you just go talk to them and be like, hey, I'm here and I care about you and I really genuinely want us to talk about this, you'll be a lot more surprised at how much more willing they are to sit down and talk with you, because they're like, oh shit, here's someone that actually cares, and here's some attention, because not many people feel comfortable showing these emotions for some reason. And I say for some reason, but it's kind of obvious why. I mean, no one really does, and therefore most of us are attention starved, and it's just really surprising to hear someone that actually sounds genuine nowadays. Right? So be that person. Don't expect for other people to be it to you, and it's a mess, okay? That also ties into something else that I'll talk about later with fortune, right? Fortune comes to whoever it deems won't waste the opportunities given to it. And that'll all tie in later. But now these points may seem a little bit out of order, but that's okay, because they're all important ideas, and each of them individually, if taken, can be applied and have life-altering effects. Okay. The next one I have is acknowledge the negative, but don't be bogged down by it. Now, this kind of ties into the overthinking. I believe that there isn't such a thing, like I said, as overthinking. It's just ineffective thinking. So, ineffective thinking, if you're confused, looks a little bit like this. Rather than thinking about questions like, what's the problem, or how can I react differently, or what can I do? The guy will ask, how can they act like that? Or why is the world against me? Or how could this have happened? Or, other senseless, disillusioned, just unanswerable questions that have infinite answers, right? And there's no, set thing that you can really latch onto, and there's nothing you can do about it. You make it circumstantial and something that's outside of your control. You make yourself a victim, right? And It's really common that people do this, but the issue with these questions is that there's no way to answer them, right? Whereas with what can I do, or why do I feel like this? Maybe you're feeling quite sour and you want to ask yourself why. You can come up with reasons why and then ask yourself what you can do about it, right? And it forces you to think. The issue with those other questions, like, oh, how could this have happened to me? It makes you a victim, and then you think that there's nothing you can do about it, and then that causes your mind to just shut off, and you don't think about an answer. Therefore, you never get an answer, or you never, improve the situation. Now, I'm sorry if I'm starting to, yell at the camera. It's just really irritating. It's a common problem, and, it might take a minute to think and consider the answers to these questions, but think about this. If time is our most valuable thing, but we don't keep enough of it to ourselves to even consider how we're feeling, is it any wonder why we're so dirt poor, right? And you could be poor in a bunch of different circumstances, financially, socially, there's a bunch of different stuff, different ways that you can be poor, but just overall, as a society, we're kind of dirt poor. Money-wise, we're the richest country in the world if you live in the U.S., right? One of the richest countries, at least. But affection-wise, attention-wise, education-wise, we're kind of starting to slip. Yeah. Everyone has the same amount of time allotted to them in a day, right? Some less because they decided that they were going to stay up the night before, but you can't really cheat the system, and we all have 24 hours, okay? No, the difference between the most richest and successful people in the world and you is that they use their time more efficiently. They simply leveled up their efficiency exactly how you would in a game. All right? When they think, they think efficiently. When they plan efficiently. When they work efficiently. Right? When they execute efficiently. Now, there are a lot of little tips and tricks I could give you on being more efficient, but I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil or something to write with. Ask yourself this question. And I did a video over the 80-20 principle, right? You can go watch that if you're really interested in this. But ask yourself this question. What do I spend 80% of my time on that leads to 20% of my happiness? Take some time and really answer earnestly. It may feel uncomfortable, but this is the first step to the good life. Okay? Then I want you to ask yourself this. Is there any way I can limit or reduce my time spent on these 80% of activities? Again, really take your time to answer this question and consider it. If you're going to school and you're talking during class rather than, paying attention to the teacher, then later you're going to have to go back and look at the notes or the PowerPoints or write down the notes because you distracted yourself. So why not, instead of doing that, pay attention while you're there, you're supposed to be paying attention, and then talk to your friends and stuff later. Just a thought, man. Now you may ask, then if I get rid of the 80% of activities that, only give me 20% of my results, what will I do with my time? I'll have so much free time. Well, this is where you identify the 20% of activities that give you 80% of the results that you want, or 80% of the happiness that you want in your life. All right? It's as simple as switching the numbers around in the equation I gave you, in the question. Question, equation, honestly, same thing. The beauty of this question is that it can be reworded to solve whatever inefficiency you're facing. So here's an example, right? What 20% of my actions lead to 80% of the results I want? Or what 80% of my actions lead to only 20% of the results I want? You see where I'm going with this? It's as simple as that, you know. By answering these questions consistently and as honestly as you can, because you're the only one that's reading this. There's no reason to bullshit yourself, okay? You could, without exaggeration, save yourself years, decades, even lifetimes, right? Lifetimes of just repeated, needless failure. And, combined with the technologies we have today, we have like an infinite number of possibilities and futures and wealth and fortune that we can attain. Tap into that, bro. Tap in. Now, failure is a necessity, and it will still be a non-negotiable part of life. The question is, if you're getting better, developing more skills, so that you're better prepared to handle, those problems, those struggles, those failures. It's what you do with failure that really counts. And this kind of transitions us nicely, kind of roughly, but kind of nicely into our next point. And it is that you will never be ready, okay? You may think, oh, well, I just need a little bit of time to prepare. No. How often is it that, students, college level or elementary, are given extra time on an assignment and then still come up with the same result? They wait until the last minute to do it. Maybe that's a poor example. People that say they're going to the gym, they say, oh yeah, I'm going to start going to the gym. And then they look up about going to the gym. And then they see that there's a bunch of, they try to find the most efficient workouts, efficient diets, efficient, etc. But there's so many controversial opinions on the internet and so many uninformed people trying to throw their uninformed opinions out, about certain diets and certain speedy ways to get results, because they've seen fast results with it, or because they're trying to make money off of, something that gives fast results. They're giving poor advice that's not suitable for long-term success. And it causes such a disruption between what people trust and what they don't trust. And you'll spend hours upon months, and sometimes even, half of a year or longer on just trying to find a good workout to follow. And ultimately people just dish out hundreds of dollars to find a perfect or a tailored plan to themselves, right? Or they try to figure out their body shape or whatever, and their body type, and blah blah blah. What food goes good with my blood type? Stupid shit like that. Like, really, all you need to do is get started. Start before you think you're ready, because you're never going to be ready. Right? The longer you give yourself to think about it, the more reasons you collect for why you're not ready. And I'm not saying you can't refine it, right? When you start going to the gym, right, you're going to look kind of like a dumbass. Honestly, people don't care. I'm going to be honest. People like me, I've been going to the same gym for like a year and a half straight, 2 years. I don't care when I see new people. Like, I'm more focused on myself and the music, like what song's on the next play, what song's on cue next, right? Or I'll be doing schoolwork in between sets. So, we don't care, all right? And you'll refine it over time. You'll see what works best for you, and you'll, do that. The point is to not expect to be perfect when you first start. You don't expect an athlete to step on the arena for the first time and have like a perfect performance, right? It's really rare. And, this is a little off topic, but it's been proven that people, they resonate more with your failures. So if you're trying to become an influencer, if you're trying to gain fans, and you're an athlete, or you're trying to be, or you're trying to get an audience, why would you want to be perfect? It's intimidating. And jumping back to reality is often disappointing. People will blow things out of proportion and begin to assume, which may even worsen your issue. But, you want to be relatable. That's how people begin to trust you. It also shows that you're great at communicating your feelings and thoughts. And your emotions. Feelings and emotions. But who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that in somebody they like? It certainly makes for good conversation. Okay? That'll lead us to our next point. Be a good communicator. Alright? So, you can be as knowledgeable as the great, Einstein or other literary scholars, or not other literary scholars, like he was a literary scholar. No, but just literary scholars or, philosophers. I can't speak English today. Just other scholars. But if you lack the ability to share or communicate those thoughts, the knowledge means absolutely nothing, and you're worthless to the marketplace. The only value you can then bring is, how you can implement that knowledge and to give someone value, or the product that you create with that knowledge, which is how you implement it. In life, your success will always be determined by how much value you can bring to the marketplace, and you can bring value in many different ways, but fundamentally, you're dealing with other people. You need to learn how to communicate and show them the value of what you're offering. This comes from communication, right? Now, this isn't just for people looking to grow their business. There's a lot for the common man, and, there's a lot for the common man to take from this as well. Now, try this little experiment, okay? In your job or throughout your day, offer someone the most value, the absolute best that you can give. So if you're having a conversation, be an amazing conversationalist. If you want to be a good listener, or if you're listening to someone vent, be an amazing listener, right? Give the best you can possibly do. Really pour it on, whatever it is. Go the extra mile, right? Now, see how you feel at the end of the day after doing that. If you don't know, how to conversate with people or how to be a good conversationalist, there's millions of books on that. They'll save you 10, 13 years of... And this is highlighting the importance of knowledge and reading, Books and stuff are literally failures. They're people's documented failures. So why not pick them up and read about them? Just a thought, man. If they're going to save you 5, 10, 15 years of your life, then go for it. The universe gives us not what we want or what we need. It gives us what we deserve. So if you've been saying, well, if I had a better job, then I'd really pour it on, you're delusioned. If fortune was looking for somewhere to rest, it would want to find the best spot to rest, where it wouldn't be wasted. If it comes across someone who hasn't really been pouring it on, it would likely pass you by, because fortune is only half the equation. You got to learn how to use it. There's the whole quote of, with great power comes great responsibility. Learn how to use it, so that opportunities don't slip by you. That's really what pouring it on means. To not only search for, but to create new opportunities. We're all fortunate to some degree, to be alive even, right? So learn how to use that fortune that you've been giving to its maximum potential to create, and that's creating opportunities for yourself. Using your potential or using your fortune to the maximum potential creates opportunities for yourself, and then you're able to get more fortune from those opportunities, right? So learn how you can use it before you ask for more. Learn how to control your power before you ask for more. You know? In those superhero movies, how do they get more power? Not because someone gives it to them, but because they develop their power to such... In One Piece, for example, right? If you watch anime, which I'm sure you do, but Luffy, he has, this power, and he develops it. He doesn't get more power from someone. He develops his power, and then he unlocks other powers because of the result of him finding new ways to use his power. That's him creating new opportunities for himself, right? And regardless where you're at in life, cashier, pizza maker, cook, just a hairdresser, it'll seem contradicting at first, but even in the Bible, right, it says, give and so you shall receive. Cram as much love and value, maybe not love, but value into everything, everything you do. Every conversation you can put value in. Every product you give, put as much value in it as you can. Here's a random example. If you're a cashier and you have pre-made salads behind the bar, and someone says, well, can I have a salad with, no tomatoes? Then you go make a new salad with no tomatoes. It's really really specific, and I don't think many of you are going to relate to that, but find your own example of how you can relate that, right? Now, this is part of the reason partially why compliments are, so good, even if they're half-assed, because compliments give the other person a source of self-value, which is really rare these days, right? You reinforce an opposite narrative, one that they might not believe to be true. You've provided reinforcement for it, right? Now, you can begin to see the value of communication, right? When you're able to express and relate your emotions to whenever or whatever it is. In this digital age, we're all half-brained and half-aware, right? The value of you being able to express your emotions is felt extraordinarily, and people are going to be grateful for it, even if they aren't consciously aware of it, right? People will just be drawn to you, and this is what charisma is. Now, if you're a cashier and you didn't get the tip that you want, or you would have liked to get, even after implementing the best conversation, giving them the most value, offering them other things, asking them if they want Parmesan or crushed red pepper to go with their pizza, or garlic powder, or, don't be annoying with it, but try to show them that you want to give them value, right? If you still don't get the tip that you wanted, at least you got the confidence from knowing that you did everything in your power to possibly get that tip. And also, that person will go throughout their day and spread their newfound happiness that you've given them, from the value that they received from you. They'll spread it throughout their day. The decisions they make will then be based off of, a happy state of mind, and that'll create better decisions ultimately. Hopefully, Drugs also make you happy to some degree and still make stupid decisions. Let's take that with a grain of salt. But you've quite literally just made a change in the world, because that's going to have a rippling effect on everyone, right? It's not going to die off. That happiness streak will continue going, Now, there will be people that actively look for shit to complain about, and ultimately the happiness will get to them and it'll die off. But, you did good, right? Now, if that's not good enough, you sure got a good review on Google, right? Maybe even, you got a few customer referrals, which are really good for businesses, right? Now, you'll get more customers, and if you continue giving the same value, then they're sure to leave you a tip. So, you've multiplied your tip. You've delayed gratification. Good job. Really good job. Now, by implementing these 4 mindsets, even for just a week, you'll see a drastic difference in how people treat you and your self-esteem levels. You'll be able to go to sleep at night and feel like, holy shit, I earned this, you know? It's really, truly incredible, and I don't understand why more people aren't, like, speaking about this in this way. Maybe because it created, like, a 30-minute long video, but... And I don't know that many people will watch this, but if you watch this far, then I'm proud of you. You're going to get far in life, you know? Like, sometimes you have to rewatch content to truly get the meaning or emphasis, or, you know, write it down and try to relate yourself to it. But I think this is something that will really, really change your entire life if you actually implement it. And maybe I haven't given you the right way to relate to it, but... And maybe you'll find your own later on, or something will click later on down the road. You'll be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. But I hope this video gave you what I never got from all of those skinny neck YouTubers who talk about, you know, fucking just different stuff regarding self-improvement, and they don't practice what they preach at all, right? They tell you to give value, right? Give value, but, you know, it's kind of contradictory because they never dig deeper than that, and they leave you with like a quote or something. Now, if you're looking for like a deeper explanation, then, you know, it's all of this that I've been talking about and all the other stuff on self-improvement. And there's still questions you have about, you know, some of the things after this video. My coaching program is 90% off for anyone that is uncomfortable or, you know, unable to afford buying stuff online. I'll answer any questions you have in full depth and also go over the practical applications for them. I'll hold your hand through the self-improvement journey, and we'll get you through each step. I'll teach you in-depth ways I wish I was taught, you know, about starting out. And we'll go over fitness, we'll go over nutrition, mindfulness, goals, all of it, the whole 9 yards. All right, I'll listen to your story and make you a personalized roadmap to success, you know, a workout plan, a nutrition guide. Whatever your goals are, we'll work through your certain circumstance, not some generalized meal plan, right? There's a winning solution in every game. Let's find yours. I don't plan on having it too much longer. The coaching program, I don't plan on having it open too much longer. So, like and subscribe if you want to see more from someone who has implemented what he talks about. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload, and stay on task.